So
Yeah.
what is your process like as an artist? Like if you're doing a production or whatever it is that you're working on creatively, how does your process
Um,
work?
I'll take you back to the whole illiteracy thing that I was talking about. And then we don't have a lot of work here, so most of us are not trained. Most of the actors in the market, in the industry, our industry especially, are not trained. So some of them don't even understand the need or importance of training and stuff like that. So I really can't say for myself personally. I have developed a technique. I don't have a technique yet. I'm still drawing blanks in the dark still, just hoping that, you know, every script that I get is just, I'd say faith, like, because I do see myself trying to come up with, techniques and a formula, to just, be as close to truth as possible without endangering myself, because like actors hygiene is also very important. Like a process is meant to help you go in and out in the safest way possible. So because also like, and also like the work we do here is not as involving. Like, no one is going to cast you in a production that requires 3 months of acquaintanceship with the character and his or her world. No one has that kind of money because we don't have a lot of big players. So the productions don't get to get you on that level that you would need to have a thing that you always fall back on. So I'd say for me, I was very like eager. I always wanted to go study and train abroad. But the older I grow and the wiser I'm hopefully becoming, it appears to me that we as Africans do not have our we don't have our thing, The Americans have the method, the Brits have Shakespeare. You go anywhere, like even Japan, they have kabuki theater. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just go everywhere. There's a way. There's a way that the heritage and the culture of the people is tied to the arts,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have that. So we try to use these very foreign methods and techniques to tell African stories, and that doesn't work. It doesn't compute with Africans. I mean, yeah, you can do amazing things, but like
Mm-hmm.
you're only just gonna be a method actor who plays every slave on the
Mm-hmm.
biggest production.
Mm-hmm.
That came out as a jab to somebody, but it's not. It's not.
You
It's
said
really
it.
not.
You said it.
It's
I didn't. You said it. I was just
it's really
listening
not. Like
patiently, and then you're like,
all
"Oh,
my love,
it's a
all
jab."
my all my love and respect to everyone who plays the game, and
Mm-hmm.
they deal the cat. My God, this is so okay, cool. But anyway,
No, it wasn't.
long story.
I totally get you. It
You totally
wasn't a
you see
jab.
what I was trying to say. Yeah, it wasn't,
Yeah.
but it just came out that way. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's there's a need. There's an urgency for us as African actors to
Mm-hmm.
create and develop our own techniques of acting,
Mm-hmm.
because it is insane for us to have all these stories and
Mm-hmm.
no way to like help the people who tell them do
Mm-hmm.
it, to the best and the highest quality
Mm-hmm.
possible. So yeah, there was that whole dilemma I had of going and studying it there and then
Mm-hmm.
extrapolating it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what is this neo-colonialism of having to go to where we were, denied freedom and where we have to struggle so much to be seen, heard, when we can do that here? Like we can just all look inward and be like, so this is the Nigerian technique of acting. You can be an actor from Botswana, but if
Mm-hmm.
you go to Nigeria and you learn the Nigerian method, it will help you get the accent, get the feelings, get the, all that. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
happens over there. Like you find guys leaving the UK, never spoken a bit of American English in their life, but they're able to play these Americans so well. We
Mm-hmm.
even do not know that they're British.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very intrigued by what technique and a process could be able to do to an actor's
Mm-hmm.
skill. So it's in my mind. I'm thinking about it, but for now, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta remain
Mm-hmm.
alive to the situation on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all just trying to stay afloat, just trying to get the next meal, pay the
Mm-hmm.
next bill. So like these are very metaphysical things to bring on set
Mm-hmm.
when actors just trying to get paid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like we're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to shoot these scenes, bro, so we can the paycheck.
Keep a
And here
roof
you
over
are
our
saying,
head. Keep a roof over our head and
yeah,
food in our
we have to go
stomachs.
for the take. Yeah.
Uh,
So there's also a lot of sensitivity that is required there. Some
mm,
empathy needs to be,
mm,
applied there. But yeah,
mm,
I feel like these thoughts
mhm,
are on the ground as well. Like
mhm,
you have people here and there who are thinking like that.
mhm,
Yeah, and it's good. Like if ideas are universal, so if someone
mhm,
is thinking about it, we're all gonna
mhm,
weirdly gravitate towards that.
mm,
So
mhm.
no technique for now, but it's in the works.
I must say though that I am always wondering about the elusive African aesthetic because I remember a
Mm,
few years ago I was in a playwriting residency and I had a dramaturg who was from the UK. And then they were saying,
yeah.
so I have a couple of notes that I want to give you, but I kept wondering whether I should give you these notes because I felt like I'm trying to impose a Western aesthetic on your play. And I was like,
Mm.
I don't even know what my aesthetic is. I don't even know. I don't even know what the
Yeah,
African aesthetic is. But like you're
yeah,
saying, that sometimes it's maybe a matter of um, sticking to the idea of being open to finding the truth and having faith
yeah,
that all the experiences that you have and all the stories that you also consumed as a child are those they're also going to permeate the work so that in a
yeah,
way there
yeah.
is that African aesthetic even though
Yeah,
it's
and you
not
see,
written down even though people
that's
cannot describe it.
that's what I was referencing to earlier when I said we have a weird freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We're practically where Italy and Greece were in the Renaissance
Mm-hmm.
right now in Africa. We're
Mm-hmm.
literally at a point where things are being reconsidered. There's
Mm-hmm.
rebirth of thought and how people do stuff. So we we literally are like the artists in the world right now to look at
Mm-hmm.
because the work that is being laid down right now is going to be so important and vital.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's not. I feel like let's look at the glass being half full because
Mm-hmm.
most people are looking at it as half empty. Like, oh my god, we don't have this, we don't have
Mm-hmm.
that. What we have is an infinite source of story, and that they bite our stuff all the time. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see on TV has a connotation that is from this continent.
Mm-hmm.
So worry not. Let's not worry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not worry. Like we are right where we need to
Mm-hmm.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So what are you reading right now?
Ah, yeah, yeah. I am such an awful reader. Wow, 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 wow.
What do you
Yeah.
mean an
Let
awful
me just
reader?
be. I have. I don't know. I just have a really short attention span when it
Okay.
comes to reading, and I feel very exhausted when I'm reading words and I have to see them in my head and create these scenarios for myself and see them. I mean, there's some people who find joy in that, getting lost in these. But for me, it's just a drain. Like I'm like, I just that's why I prefer watching stuff. I'm a visual creature, so I watch and listen
Mm-hmm.
more than. But the short answer is I'm reading this play from Tanzania. It's called Mashetani,
Okay.
um, which loosely translates to demonic spirits. It's an
Okay.
amazing play in Swahili. The only reason why I'm reading it is because of the wealth of African languages. I've come to realize that, I read a bit of Shakespeare and I was like, he I see what he was trying to do, but I have a grandmother somewhere in a country who does what Shakespeare does without trying. Like she'll just say three words in a sentence and just have spoken so much. And I'm like, wow, there's so much wealth in how we speak and communicate. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really want to tap into that, So I've been very intrigued by African vernacular and how we can use that as a tool in our work. Because come on, come on, we have to stop sounding like this. Must must put an end to this.
How do we sound like?
We just sound our ancestors would not know how to talk to us.
Or maybe they'll be told, "Oh, your your descendant is somewhere in that room speaking," and they're like, "Which one? I can't hear them.
Yeah.
They sound so strange. I don't know this person."
Yeah, it's called mother tongue for a reason, man. It's there's a connotation there about being related
Mhm.
to to your mother because it's such a deep connection. So speaking in that tongue is also very deep. I'd like to believe that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
does that mean that you're going to be doing more work in your mother tongue?
Doing it. I'm doing it. I've done two short films this year. I did one in March and another one like 2, 3 weeks ago. Still in
Mm.
editing. Yeah, but I have this friend of mine who we are really taken by avant-garde cinema and European. European cinema is just always so pompous and bougie and just broody and just
But
black and
maybe,
white
but
and
they also have a
they're
lot of time.
smoking.
They have a lot of time to work on
Yeah,
that, to
no, no, no.
just
But that's the
do
thing. Like,
because of not just to do it for commercial appeal, but just do it because
mm,
they want to do it and they're interested in telling those
yeah,
particular stories.
yeah, yeah. So for we've sort of like stolen like artists. Like when you steal like an artist, no one
Hmm.
knows you stole.
Hmm.
So we've been very like inspired to handle these very philosophical questions that European filmmakers from like the 20s to the 70s, they were just on some other divine stuff. Like when Americans were making superhero movies and all these, all these indulgences of their ego, European film has just even Asian film, like they have been really focused about the human experience and the questions that the human has, what man has, the conversion of man with God, man with his environment, man with his mortality. And I'm like, dude, we were like, this is just so cool. We should do that for our people. Because our people, I mean, I've had very deep conversations with people up country. Just because we're not in English does not negate how deep they were. Like these were
Yeah.
very tough questions. And yeah, the idea of making films that our grandmothers can watch is just, yeah, it feels right. It's like you're saying, it's not a money grab. It's not for commercial purposes. It's just, yeah, our shows and our grandmothers have grown up. They grew up thinking that TV and all these other art forms were for those people, and they could not see themselves. So
Mm.
we're trying to give back that way, see where that leads, because I feel like that is an open-ended avenue. You don't know where it's gonna lead. Like
Mm.
no one, we haven't been going down that route. I mean, Nigerians have been trying, South Africans have been trying because
Mm.
their work is very language centered about, their languages really come out
Mm.
in their work.
Mm.
And for some reason, um, they're the highest African countries. When you think about anything, it's those two countries that come to mind. And they're not trying to be like those other countries. They're not making those images um, swallowable or edible, like for white people. Like we're not gonna scare them. They're doing their work.
Yeah.
you know, they're not packaging it in small, tiny, presentable things for these people. Nah, they're just as raw as possible.
Mm.
And that's something I'm very inspired by.
Mm.
Rawness. That could be taken out of context.
No, that's you're saying some really interesting and awesome things. Um, so, have you shared any of the short films that you did in your mother tongue with is your grandmother still around? And did you share it
Mm,
with her?
not yet. Not yet, because I mean, at the end of the day, as an artist, I'm still trying to eat.
Mhm.
So, like the one we did in March, we've been held back by distribution. We
Okay.
don't have proper. I mean, and that's the thing. We also wanted to appreciate. We also wanted to, we just not doing work and throwing it to the people. I feel like
Yeah.
also the way you go about it says a lot. So we are young, and again, the industry has endless possibilities, and we're like, if we can etch out this little niche for ourselves, find a way to monetize, and make sure that each film that we make makes the next one. Just to remain afloat. Like, we're in a capitalist world, man. We're not gonna be fed with exposure and
Yeah.
gratitude. So
Yeah.
there's that's another challenge, if
Mhm.
you might say.
Yeah.
Distribution
Yeah.
of our work is just it's bogging some very creative guys have just amazing films and hard drives, because
Mhm.
they're like, it costs me so much money, time, and effort to create this. If I
Mhm.
throw it on YouTube and get
Mhm.
20 views after 5 months, I can't take that on a validation level, and I
Mhm.
cannot take that on a financial level. So
Mhm. Mhm.
we also have to be
Yeah.
smart filmmakers. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, once you've put it on YouTube and it's out there, how do you then start charging people to say, you know what, I am doing a
Yeah.
premiere of my movie, can you come and watch it? They'll be like, but we've watched it on YouTube, so why should we come?
Exactly. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
see, that's one of the things that content beats film, because content takes way shorter. The
Mm-hmm.
production time for content is really short, so you can
Mm-hmm.
do that daily. There are guys who do it daily,
Mm-hmm.
so they do not mind having it there
Mm-hmm.
on an exposure basis, because that will translate for as numbers for them, that they can now
Mm-hmm.
go look, source for sponsorship from products.
Mm-hmm.
So it's financially feasible for them. It
Mm-hmm.
works. But for
Mm-hmm.
us, you're trying to make this film pay so many people back.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to find the right ways to get it to people,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that they understand and value what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, baby steps.
Yeah. A very random question, which is not a question on our list, is there significance behind on the cloth behind you, or it's
This
that
is me
you know
trying
what,
to be.
since we started, I've been wondering
Yeah.
about that.
This is this
It's
is this
lovely,
is
I like
the,
it. It's like,
yeah. I was like, it was the most immediate way I could formalize my bedroom. I was like, no,
mhm,
it's just gonna be. And then behind it is just a bunch of posters and stuff. Just didn't
okay.
want to show people I'm messy like that. It's private. But yeah, it sort of works like a background. So
Mhm,
you know how that is. And then I also really
mhm.
like black. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Yeah. Now my curiosity has been
it's so
satiated for
absurd.
now.
Wow. It's
I couldn't move on to the next question. I was like, I really need to know about this clothes.
um hold up. Since we're asking
Oh
questions,
no, we
this is
can't.
technically a
No,
question.
I'm asking questions. We can't.
No, no,
Okay,
no,
it's fine.
no.
You can
Nah, nah,
ask
I'm
me.
not
It's
gonna
fine.
ask you questions.
It's fine. You can
No,
ask.
that
It's
was you
fine.
in your head. That was you in your head. In your head, you were
Okay.
like, since I'm asking the questions, that's it technically says as a question. Excuse me, sir. Well, yeah, it's okay. So I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So the other question I have is, which movie did you watch recently that really moved you in a particular way?
I haven't actually seen a movie of that caliber. I'd say there's a show I watched. There's a series. I don't know if you watched Silicon Valley.
Um,
Um, on HBO. It's this show that follows these four programmers in Silicon Valley, which is the app technological
mm,
whatever
Capital of the
capital of the
world.
states. Yeah, so it's just their journey
Mhm,
from living in someone's house all the way to how they made it. It's just these leaders of industry, the guys who these billionaires. It's just like their story. But then for me, what I like about Silicon Valley is that, for one, they use a lot of improv. So it's 6 seasons, and I've been watching them like a song, just back to back.
mhm,
For it's just, yeah, the way these actors are able to understand the character, because that level of improvisation is,
mhm,
you have to be very involved and very attentive.
mhm,
So I like how laid back it's made. Like it's been made in such a way. So like it's like I'm a fly on the wall. They're not really acting for me. They're not really trying to hit these notes emotionally. I'm just in the room with them, seeing them live, and that has been, yeah, that's what it's been. It's been on like a replay because like I just listened to it like a song, the jokes, the way the comedic timing, the way even the choice of music, like at the end of every episode, it's just been very intriguing. Like, yeah, the guys who just do the work. It's not even about anything. It's just they did the work, and I feel like that is the energy that would always translate on this other side because they ended production like 2015 or something, like a while ago. So here I am 6 years later consuming their work, and I cannot have enough. So Silicon Valley, if your viewers want to watch something funny, they'll dig onto that.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I am the Oma Basa. 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 Ati no bata suande 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 suande